The all-new Toyota RAV4 asks, what if? What if your ride was refined and rugged at the same time? Introducing a car that's got style and substance to spare. The all-new RAV4 Limited, featuring a sophisticated, muscular new exterior and available options like a premium JBL audio system and panoramic roof. The all-new RAV4 Limited. Toyota, let's go places. JBL and Clarifier, registered trademarks of Harman International Industries Incorporated.
Blog Talk Radio.
A company always on the run. A destiny. Oh, it's the rising sun. I was born a shotgun in my hands, behind the gun. I'll make my final.
Well, welcome to the Shooter's Rest Radio for 31 July. Yes, the last day of fun because school starts next week in Georgia. Yeah, I'm gonna let Victor take the show for a minute, and then we're gonna introduce our guest co-host once we introduce our guest.
Yeah. This is Victor Laszlo. I am very pleased to bring to the show tonight Seth Bailey. Some of y'all might know him as the author of the two books in the Jeb Shaw series. And the rain came down and the lines would cross. On his Amazon author page, it says he's a writer, blogger, semi-professional gun nut, and accidental satirist. Oh, no more absent for me. A former paratrooper and veteran of the U.S. Army, he served in Iraq with E Company, 51st Infantry, long-range surveillance. He liked good food, strong drink, dogs, and not much else. He grew up in East Texas, currently lives in Dallas, where he is now plotting his escape. And also, it's not on here, but I am reasonably sure I can say this with a degree of certainty, he is a true Renaissance man. So, Seth, welcome to Shooter's Rest Radio, and we're just really, really glad to have you.
I'm really, really glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Oh, yeah, you know it, man. You know it. I know you have a lot of loyal fans out there. I consider myself one. So I'm going to go ahead and throw the guest call-in number out there pretty quick, because I know a lot of your minions probably want to call in and chew the fat a little bit. So the guest call-in number is 213-286-670. And back to you, Jay.
And we also have a guest co-host tonight. It's Don Logan from Barefoot Knives and Guns out of Florida, because Travis, being Travis, decided that he would rather take care of his girlfriend, which is perfectly fine with all of us. But last minute, we called up Don. He said he'd do it. So, hey, Don, why don't you introduce yourself and let us know what you do, and go ahead and do a self-plug for your website.
Well, as you said, I'm Don Logan, owner of Barefoot Knives and Gun in Bell, Florida, North Central Florida. We do all custom gunsmithing, custom knife works. I make custom fixed-blade knives, and we do everything from mild to wild. And I'm also ex-Army, so hooah to all the guys out there and my bros that are still overseas the sandbox. We do a lot of ladies' classes. I teach children for free because I believe that all children need to know what firearm safety and safe handling is. I'm one of the administrators for Florida American Gun Rights, which is a great organization, which Jay is also a member of, and we want to get the education out there to make people aware that firearm safety is the best thing to do.
All right. Yes. All right, so I'm going to turn it over to Seth here, and you can go ahead and give your own introduction and let us know where you're coming from, and kind of more than just a little blurb background.
Well, I'll give what I can. There's actually not a whole lot more than that. I try to keep it real simple. I grew up in East Texas. My parents were teachers. My dad was a football coach. I lived on a farm for the first 8 or so years of my life. My dad worked in the oil field then. We moved around a bit. I am the product of a kid that was the parent of teachers that hated school. I hated school. I hated classrooms. If it hadn't been for sports, I probably would have dropped out. All I ever wanted to do is be a soldier. Joined the Army, did that, got hurt, got depressed, got drunk for a while, and somewhere along the line I started writing. And it became Jeb. Jeb is sort of my ode to the guy I thought I wanted to be when I grew up.
Well, Seth, Vic here. That was something I wanted to ask you about. I've read both of your books, and I finished The Lines We Crossed not too long ago. And I sent you a message about this, and I want to say it again. It was a very, very classic dedication to Paul Gomez. And that really meant to a lot of folks that I knew Paul.
It means a lot to me. Paul was a dear friend, and someone I consider to be a mentor. And there's just not enough time. There's not enough good things I can say about the man. There are some people, I'm not going to name any names, but there are people that have benefited greatly from some of the things that he did and put out there, and maybe they didn't reciprocate it well. And Paul always seemed to take it in stride. And I just can't say enough good things about the man. I hope wherever he is, he's happy and at peace. I miss him greatly.
I'm sure he's in Valhalla training the Warriors.
Absolutely.
Quick Paul Gomez story. I went to go train up in Camden, and I sent Paul an email, and I said, hey, man, I'm going to be up in Camden, training over the weekend on fighting rifle. And he emailed me back and said, I hate to say it, but I'm going to be training somewhere. I'm going to be out, doing some other stuff. I won't get to meet up with you, but next time, you're around and in town, we'll go out and meet or something. And you know how those things work out. Next thing I know, I got a phone call from some other folks in the training community giving me the bad news, and we lost a great one. Anybody out there that we're talking about, Paul Gomez was a true epitome of a Renaissance man, a trainer extraordinaire, a true martialist in every sense of the word, and a good friend and a good man. So he's a good one. I just wanted to throw that out there. That really impressed me. But getting back to Jeb Shaw, reading both of the books, I just had to wonder, is there a little bit more of Seth Bailey in Jeb Shaw than meets the eye? Is he a bit autobiographical?
Their therapy, especially the first book, was a lot of therapy for me. And it would be true to say that there's a lot of me in Jeb, or how much Jeb is in me, I don't know anymore. But there's absolutely a lot of me in Jeb. I could sit here and say something else or whatever, but Ayn Rand had a great quote about heroes in fiction. I can't recall it word verbatim off the top of my head, but that they are basically the epistemological, I screwed that word all up, the manifestations of our value systems, the perfections of our value systems, so to speak. And that would probably be true. Like I said, he's Jeb's my ode to the guy I thought I wanted to be when I grew up, and I'm still working towards, sort of.
Yep, very good.
Even though he's horribly imperfect.
But you mentioned something that kind of stirred my interest, and actually I made some notes here this afternoon, and you kind of touched on it. Is you said that a a culture's literary heroes reflect that culture's values.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that I saw in both books is Jeb, while being almost an anti-hero, almost like a Yossarian in Catch-22, the imperfect hero.
A little bit. I don't. You there? Yeah. Okay. I don't consider him an anti-hero as such because I think sometimes the word anti-hero is so overused. I don't know if people always know. Look, the most pure anti-hero that I can think of in fiction is probably Robert De Niro's character in Heat.
Right.
For some reason, you like the guy. He's professional, but he's a horrible human being. He will open fire on innocents to make cover. Just a real cold-blooded professional,
right.
And that's never been someone that truly interested me. Always, my favorite heroes were always the ones that were more Byronic, so to speak.
Right.
Lord Byron, the Byronic hero, his novel, The Corsair, the pirate in it.
Right.
Comes from all that. But they are flawed individuals. They have some form of code. The true anti-hero, to me, doesn't really have a code, And that's not... It just doesn't interest me. My take on Jeb is sort of the perfect, what I envision the perfect modern Ronin to be.
Right.
He has a code, and you make him pay him to kill a guy, but he wouldn't kill anyone just for money.
That was something I noticed. Talking when I say anti-hero, I didn't mean that he was a evil dude at all. I was thinking more. I don't know if you've ever read the Chronicles of Thomas Covenant.
No.
Now he's kind of a very imperfect character who goes through a series of self-growth through his imperfect deeds and all that. But I did notice with the Jeff Shaw character is he was very much the defender of the innocent, especially women. Both in the first book, certainly in the first book with the whole plot is kind of fading in my mind. Going to find the sister of I can't think of the character's name, but and also in the second book. So he's kind of a definitely the guy. You want watching your six and the guy that's on your side. And I think we all know people like that. You wouldn't want to have anybody else shoulder to shoulder in a bar fight. And I just love the character. I think it was just was a fantastic literary character you created there. And I know all your readers throughout the country feel the same way.
I seem to have struck a chord with veterans and veterans and sometimes libertarians. But one of my biggest honors is I get on a regular basis, veterans will send me emails, messages, whatever, and they'll be like, thank you for such and such passage. Because, especially page, I think it's 186, 187 in book one, where Jeb is it's all internal dialogue, and Jeb is just sort of going off on why he doesn't fit in and why he hates everyone.
Right.
And I think that's something we all go through, trying to reintegrate. When I first came home, I was in a weird place. I always wanted to be a soldier. That was all I ever wanted to do. I missed being a soldier. I missed being at war. I missed the guys I went to war with. I hated the Army. And I had to have a spinal fusion. It took the Army like a year and a half to put bolts in my spine, and it was a weird year and a half. And by the time I was done, I was incredibly angry and bitter and cynical. I couldn't watch the TV show The Unit because it was so Rangerific, and nothing against Rangers. I got a bunch of friends that are Rangers, but it was so hoo-ha, I couldn't. I was too cynical to watch it. It would drive me insane.